Hello, this is Oatman, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Hardcore. I'll probably give you an update as to where we are currently in the world and what we're doing. I've done a lot of building. It's been a little while, a little over a month, closer to 2 maybe, since the last episode. These ones are taking a long time to produce. I've been building up spawn a little bit. I built up this area. This will eventually be the villager trading hall. This here is definitely just empty and going to have doors and stuff in it. Like I said, this series is not primarily focused on building necessarily, but building still has to happen for the series, so we're going to do villager trading and whatnot there. I built this giant barn here. This is where I'll move the cows into. Not finished yet, but we'll get there. Not bad at all. But I have another build that we're going to focus on today that would be a little bit cooler. So these are just kind of normal builds that I built this chicken coop. I don't know if that was on camera or not. These are just kind of normal builds that you've seen me build. If you haven't watched my stuff prior, if you haven't seen me build and stuff like that, I have lots of videos on building very similar structures to these. All throughout my channel, and maybe we'll focus more on how to build and building some specific stuff in the future of the series potentially. But for now, what we're going like I said, what we're focused on is achieving our goals, and the main kind of thing. So that's the other thing that we got here is I built this little orchard where I could kind of organize my trees and things like that and get those a place where I can dedicatedly harvest these kind of materials and such like that. So that's why all of these are here. I've got different saplings planted and stuff like that. So yeah, so I spent a lot of time building this out. This is very cool, very good. Cool building. I wanted to incorporate some of the so each of the builds had, I guess, in this world so far, I've been wanting to like incorporate some kind of like mystical block or kind of magical, like unconventional block that that you wouldn't normally see in a kind of traditional build series where it's just all wood or anything kind of like that. That's a normal build, but it's kind of orange and bright. So I incorporated some of that warped blue fungus stuff in this build. Pretty cool. The idea was kind of inspired by German townhouses and things like that. Obviously, this is just a kind of a traditional barn. Not super happy with the level of detail on it, but it does the job. It'll do. But I do have a cool build idea that I would like to work on potentially this episode. Like I said, this isn't a build series. This isn't going to be how to build this kind of thing, but we are going to build it and use this episode as an opportunity to catch up on some of the things that we have built. Now, I don't know if I talked about in the last episode, I also built up this little fishing shack. I'll show you this if I haven't, because I needed to get some fish and do some fishing, so I built this little kind of fisherman shack, and I have this cool little deck out here floating around. So this is kind of nice little place to go fishing, nice little place to kind of peacefully rest my tired eyes. The goal of this is to have a little dock here where I can fish peacefully under rain cover and kind of in general safety. So today, what are we doing? I'm expanding the Forbidden Forest over there just ever so slightly. Pretty cool. That's going places. I think I expanded the map over here a little bit. I don't know if I did off camera. I don't remember. It's been such a long time since I played this. It's been very, very busy in my personal life, so I don't know. But I will say that since the last episode, my wife gave birth to our third child, and that was very exciting and good thing in life for sure. I'm currently on my kind of extended leave for the purposes of that, but I won't bore you with all of the gory details. But I finally have had some time to sit down and record some Minecraft content. a lot of our Terraria is kind of bulk recorded and things like that. So we're able to get that out, and that kind of keeps the channel going. We stream every Tuesday with Crusty Creatures. That doesn't require a lot of editing and production time, so I'm able to sit down and do that. And it looks like you guys have been enjoying seeing those streams and things like that, so I really appreciate all the support on those. That to say, I have not cranked out a vanilla Minecraft Hardcore episode in quite a long time, so I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be in it. We are still in the same version of Minecraft we were in before because it takes a while for the mods to update, but we've been through this rigmarole before, so I won't talk too much about that. Today we need to go get some snow, but more importantly, we need to get some snow from a snow golem, or be able to produce a snow golem. Is the sun going down or going up? I think it's going down. So I don't know. There's still some snow from last winter over on the edges of this world generation, which is great. So what we'll do is we'll grab some of this stuff. I just need enough to build a snow golem. But yeah, the world, so my goal, like I said in the last episode, after defeating the Woodland Mansion, my goal was very much to what you call it? Yeah, that's enough. Build up spawn and get it a little bit more worthy of being a capital city, right? So we've done that. We're still ongoing doing that. You'll see why we need the snow here in a minute, but uh-oh, fell in a pit. Do I have a lead? I do not. So I need a snowman at my house for a multitude of reasons. I need to be able to feed Snowy the first Captain Snowball the ghast, the flying ghast. But I did say one of the kind of main survival bits, what are the things that we want to do? It's not a goal per se, but call it a side quest. Is I want to build a ghast tower. I want to build a place where I can park my Happy Ghast, potentially get more Happy Ghasts, and go from there to be able to potentially just kind of have like a station for them, kind of call it like an airport tower kind of situation. And then I came up with a very cool idea for that build. So we're working on, that's what we're working on. Come on, Snowy, let's roll. But yeah, it feels very, very good. So I've been playing a lot in this world. We're on day like 550 of the hardcore survival without dying, which is great. But like I said, the next thing on our agenda is going to be the next things that we're going to be doing realistically are going to be not building up town, because we're currently doing that. We're going to be probably fighting the Wither is up next. Beyond that is going to be we have to find a Deep Dark. I would really like to do the Dragon last, just because canonically that makes the most sense. But I don't know if that's going to be a possibility. If we can't find a Deep Dark, I don't know how we're going to fight the Warden. But we will. So maybe we just have to go on an adventure and find some Deep Dark biome of some variety or another. But there is certainly some building that I would very much like to do in this world. But I'm going to show you kind of an interesting build technique. I know this series, I always say it is not about building, but we're gonna go ahead and do what we got to do here. And I think this will be cool. All right. So first of all, we need to count the tentacles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on a ghast. There are 9 tentacles on a ghast. So what we're going to do, and this is an interesting build technique because it employs randomization a bit, but we'll see how this goes. So first and foremost, we're going to do just going to kind of scatter this around. It has to be white. And here we go. Don't want to die here doing this, but obviously what we're going to do is build out some tentacleage, and you'll see and understand kind of what we're up to once we get it fully done and handled here. I think that will be right. Okay. So now we'll climb down, and that is one. That's one tentacle. Spruce them up just a little bit off camera here when we get the opportunity. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So we're gonna need 9 of these. Which this is gonna be a very unique structure. It's gonna be a very artistic structure within the world, but I think it'll be a cool addition to the world, and kind of just the way we have our lore and the way we process things in the world here. So that's one. We're going to do 8 more, but you'll see as this comes to fruition, this is going to ultimately end up being our Happy Ghast docking station, so to speak, airport, if you will, whatever you want to end up wanting to call it. But I think it'll be cool. It'll be a good place to store our Happy Ghast, and potentially give us more Happy Ghast in the future. And I believe that is 9. Let's take a look. Count the bases, because it's going to be a lot easier than counting the tips. Alrighty. So now we have 9 tentacles coming out of the ground, and it looks a little chaotic. I probably will clean them up a little off camera. Probably not too much, being that they're organic. We want to make it look pretty good. I think that looks awesome. Captain Snowball seems to like it already. Well, let's count the bases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold on, I have to start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try and build a structure up there that vaguely resembles a port or something like that we can dock our dudes at. And to do this, went and got some crimson wood. I think this is going to be about where we want it. Just gonna pillar on up in here relatively non-discriminately. This should be, like I said, this is an experimental structure. It's gonna be an interesting structure, I think. I'll just keep pillaring, and we'll go to the relative top. That's like here. That works. Cool. Let's sink this down 1 block, like that. Okay, so now we're going to try and build a little bit of a platform with corners and things like that, and then we'll go from there as far as that goes. Going to need to build this out to where the next pillar can go. The next pillar is going to have to go right there. I want this structure to be kind of, the structure bit of it to kind of weave through, kind of thread the needle of all the tentacles here that are holding the thing up. Okay, so we'll cut this part off. Okay, and then we can go from here. Just kind of build into the structure at the very top here. And then I think we might be able to, I haven't really come up with an idea for the actual structure of the building part of it. That's okay. We'll get there. We'll start with a platform and we'll get there. This has a, okay, so I was gonna say this has a, this goes like this. Okay. But yeah, so it's been a little while since we've played on the old hardcore world. Well, not a while since we played, but definitely a while since we recorded an episode. But definitely the next bit, and I'm stalling a little bit on this, is the Wither, I think. So we'll take on the Wither, and from there, it's really just the Warden, Deep Dark portion, and then the Dragon End City stuff at that point. So we're very, very close to being done with the series, gang. And I'm not sure what to do with it next, because I'm kind of fallen in love with this world. It's become a bit of a forever world type situation. So definitely put in the comments, if you're watching, what you think we ought to do. I might stick with the original plan of if I'm up for it, I might just continue the world in a non-hardcore version of it. Like disable hardcore mode after all the tasks are completed. Might be cool. That is a tentacle that's in my way. Let's see. It's not in my way if I do that. Okay. Yeah, in a non-hardcore version of it, I think that might be kind of dope. Okay, so this should weave, if I'm planning this correctly. This should go right in here. Okay, that was not necessary, sir. Put away. Okay. But yeah, we're getting to the end. Assuming we survive, but if I do convert it into a normal world where there is no hardcore mode involved, what I will do is most likely stop using shaders and stop using the mods, because those kind of make it take forever to be able to update and really enjoy the updates and game drops and stuff like that are coming out in Minecraft more regularly. So I'll probably do that, and then maybe we'll just convert it into a Oatman Solo Survival Season 4 situation, because we had 3 seasons of that. And I have plans for this world going forward, or maybe after that we'll just we'll talk about doing just continuing the hardcore series. That's an option. Just continuing it in hardcore. Just play until we die type situation. I think that could be a good idea too. So let me know what you think. Would not be opposed to any of those options. But we're gonna keep our head in the game. We're gonna keep building cool stuff. We're gonna keep the world alive. For now, I'm not dead yet, so I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, as it were. Let's do something like this. There we go. Now I think I should be able to do this. Now I have more crimson wood, I believe. Fighting these tentacles is going to be the tricky bit. Make sure I don't die when I fall here. Not entirely sure how tall this structure is, but we'll figure it out from there. Did I have more? I did. Okay, good. So we need to figure out how to get into that hole there. Is that right? It's right here. Okay, let's reroute the tentacle. We can do that. Okay, come on now. Should probably sleep, but, you know. What fun is that? Oh, goodness. Zombie villager. Should trap this guy. Gonna need him. We do like that. Then like that. That'll be kind of cool. Tentacly. Okay, that's enough out of you. Okay. Trying to build here. So let's take a look in our free cam mode here. Yeah, I think it's kind of sick. We obviously still got to build a little structure up top, but it definitely gives a very like ominous vibe. Just what I was going for. So I'll build the little structure on top, and then I'll be right back with you, and then we'll wrap up the episode from there. But I wanted to show this guy to you for sure. And we're back. I have finished the structure around here. Now trying to lure Captain Snowball back to the tower. I built a little house out here. We'll use GD Cam just to show you what's going on. So my thought process in this building was very much to kind of have like a Firewatch tower being held up by ghast tentacles, which I think we accomplished pretty readily. It's a little odd, it's a little peculiar, atypical, if you will, but I think it's pretty cool. Hopefully we can lure Captain Snowball in here to his new home, and we can get him where he needs to be and tie him up and get him docked. But I have it set up basically so that I can get I can put 2 or 4 plus Happy Ghast up in here, so it should be good and happy and wonderful once we get moving. But this is kind of an interesting build. It's probably not for everyone. I'll put it that way. Come here, boy. Here, I have snowballs for you, sir. Come. I thought he was supposed to like be super into snowballs. He fell off his leads, but he's hard to get coming up here. I wanted it kind of nethery, and I wanted it a little cozy as well. Again, kind of Firewatch tower meets ghast tentacles meets netheriness, I suppose. Okay, now that's just... come here. I thought he was supposed to follow snowballs. Like, come here. Oh well, we'll get him. Maybe he wants to go from ground floor. So I've got this little lip thing here. We'll go down from here. Maybe I can get him to come up to here. Nope. Okay. We'll go down farther. But I thought this was kind of a cool build. It was unique. It was something that popped into my head, and I was like, ooh, I got to build that on the hardcore series, because that will... I feel like it just fits with the vibe of kind of the builds that I'm going for here recently. So I think that is pretty cool. Alright, Captain Snowball. Let's park you at your new home. Getting attacked by all kinds of phantoms here lately. Let's get these guys out of here. But, yeah, in the next episode we're gonna try and go for some ghasts, or not ghasts, some wither skulls, I think. I believe we already have one, but don't quote me on that. Okay, I think that's one more down. Okay. Go away, you. There we go. I think that's the last one. Okay, that's the last one. So we'll put Captain Snowball up here, and then we can just kind of... So the idea is we can just kind of dock them right in here. I might expand this later once I figure out how to actually keep them like relatively stationary. But this should keep them pretty close. So that's a pretty cool build. I think, like I said, I don't think it's going to be for everybody, but I think it is pretty neat. I'm happy with it. So hopefully you guys are into it too, and I'm glad. It feels good to be back in the Minecraft realm. Not realm, I guess, because a Minecraft realm is like a thing that exists. But it feels good to be back in a hardcore world for sure. Playing some vanilla Minecraft, building some cool things. But it is now, it's now going to be time to get off our butts and do some sketchy stuff. that will potentially risk all of the world that we're building here. So that's pretty cool. I felt like we also need kind of some tall structures as well. So did a lot of building. Definitely a lot. We gotta sleep to get these phantoms out of here for sure. Let's do that. Sleep, sleep, sleep. All right. Now we'll do a quick little zoom out with the cheaty camera, and we'll go from here. But check this out. We've built this whole new part of town. I feel like it goes really well with our little township here. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's got a cool vibe to it. I think it certainly has a cool vibe to it. It definitely it's different. I think it's great. That all to say, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Minecraft Hardcore. It's a little bit more chill, a little bit more of a catch-up episode, but if you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe would be awesome as well. But with that, thank you all for watching and the continued support on the series and the channel in general. Yeah, we'll see you Tuesdays for stream, and we'll see you Thursdays for Terraria, and we'll see when these come out. Yeah, it just remains to be seen. But for now, goodbye.